Alright, everyone. I got a good one this time. Well, every time. But this one is really good. We're looking into the Fuller Building, also known as the Flatiron Building. They called it the Flatiron Building because of its triangular shape. It does look really weird. It does look similar to a flat iron back in the 1800s, 1900s, whatever. And I felt I needed to make two parts because there really are two parts to this story. There is the one that you can find common, which is this is really the lowest level picture you can find of construction. And these are said to be some of the first photos of construction for the Fuller Building. Everything looks like we're doing it, right? It doesn't look like it's being deconstructed. It's standing to this day, so that's how we know that it had to be built. Otherwise, if it was gone, then I would say, oh yeah, well they deconstructed it. But this looks like we're actually building it from the ground up, and I would like to think that we built everything and everything that we see. I really hate to believe that these were all here before us, but everything so far here, it looks like, I guess it looks like we're kind of building it. I can kind of see where that looks a little bit older on the bottom, but also maybe they built it more sound on the bottom. I don't know. Does it match that middle area? And why did they build a middle area instead of just building it all the way up? But I don't know. It still seems like we're building it. Everything looks legit. You got the workers there. And I mean, to me, nothing really is out of the ordinary. We are still looking at more construction, that we're going higher and higher. So, let's disregard the amazing looking buildings around it, and let's really just try to focus on the Flatiron Building. It is one of the most iconic in New York, and obviously because of the way it's shaped. But if I can prove that we built this from the ground up, then I want to go further. So I have another building on my list. I was going to do that one instead of this, but I was going to do this one after that one. So I just went ahead and got all this together and started piecing a lot of pictures together. And, to me, everything looks still like we're building it from the ground up. There is still that missing section there for some reason. So I don't know what's up with that. Maybe they need to because of like cranes and that safety net. Here they finally added it, and maybe because they have the safety net up higher. But we're still kind of, looking like we're building it. It's being built right there. Looking normal like the others. This is just the very top part. I don't really have much to say about this area. I mean, just looks normal. And I believe now we are completed. Let's take a look. So we built it, and there's horse and buggies, right? The ground is still looking like dirt, but that was just built in front of our eyes. So there's not really much to debate. It looks kind of plain, you know. It doesn't really look as ornate as those other ones in the background, so I will give them that. But as you can see, it's there, and it looks old. You know what I mean? And then here's a nice old famous photo of it. Looks pretty creepy. So, yeah, I guess case closed. Hold up. As I'm going through photos, something wasn't adding up. I kept seeing this other building, and it looked quite different than the one that's there now. This has a square face in the front. It looks like it only goes back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 deep. It looks a lot thinner, and it's obviously square. Whereas the one we just got done looking at is round in the front. So, okay, I'm having some issues here. I need to take a look. Let's go back. Yeah, look at that. That is a full-grown building. Maybe even 2, right? You see that level there? It looks like it goes up and then stops, and then there's that other huge one right behind it. And I would say that matches more to the surrounding buildings than the other one. But this is, if you look at articles, this is lumped together with the curved one. When the articles I was reading and all the pictures and explanations of the construction had both of these together, the square and the round. And I think the square one looks a lot better. Let's take a look. Yeah, they tried. They really tried, but this one the one on the left looks amazing. I think I'd rather have that one. So now let's take a look. Because obviously something's off. And it was originally known as the Fuller Building, then the Flatiron Building, so maybe that's where that is. And they came up with this swift and rapid construction method. Oh, due to the steel skeletal system being prefabricated. I wonder where they got the prefabricated parts. And they say it only took a year to fully construct. And it took 5 months. And in that year, it took 5 months to finish the facade and the interiors, because the skeletal system was complete. That's pretty convenient, wouldn't you say? The style and the public opinion, here we go. It was just faced with limestone and glazed terracotta, like typical. You know, we just cover shit up, but sorry. They were trying their hardest to make it look like a certain way. Yeah, they tried, but it doesn't look very good compared to the other one. I want the other one back. They said it was a disgrace to the city. I don't blame them. Yeah, just a really stingy piece of the pie, all right. And here we have, the people didn't like the triangular shape. Well, it wasn't really a triangle at first, was it? So I don't blame them. And they thought it would collapse because of the way it was shaped. Yeah, because we tore down the good one and we put up this really bad one. And it took us a year to do it. So yeah, of course they were scared that it was going to fall due to just wind. It's ridiculous. And this is just going into a little bit of the floor plans about how weird it is. It just doesn't have central AC. The rooms are just all odd because they're not meant to be rooms. They even talk about how they added the 21st floor or whatever. I think they were just trying to cover up that section there that was kind of like a pool area. But they even talk about it had columns and gargoyles on the top, and now it doesn't. They just made it all cookie cutter and easy because that's all we can do. Look how basic this is. This just looks like a bad apartment. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm sure the view is great, but so now this is probably the deconstruction. And it even says the Flatiron's original elevators were powered by a whole different kinds of system. Maybe they weren't meant for people because it took 10 minutes to come up and down. So maybe we're just using it wrong. And we just were like, oh, we're just going to use what's here and then I'm going to live here. Somebody wanted to be all dramatic and say they're going to rappel down instead of use the elevator because they were mad it took 10 minutes. Well, it's not my fault you choose some weird building to live in. And here they say that there's a tavern on the bottom floor and it could fit a capacity of 1,500 people on the bottom floor. That's probably more than, I think they said only 500 residents can live on the top. So 3 times the amount can fit in the basement. That is just, it's just astonishing. They just throw this in there. And actually, you have to find it. They don't throw this anywhere. You have to find this stuff. I just needed to see more. I needed to find more pictures because this is all I was seeing was this stuff right here. I couldn't find anything, so I had to go further. And I just found this here. I found just only a handful of these that have the building before. And I think this was even like what they've cut down. I think they cut down the rest and added it because remember it was really tall at first. So to me, and I mean I'm not gonna guess when this was drawn, but there are some other photos that say that this is, well, I mean this has got to be before 1901. Because that's when they say the construction started with the round front. They all kind of just clump up these photos together, and that's the line. So they just smashed that whole building and replaced it with the new. But I think there was already something there. I think they cut that down because you see how that building is straight like that. I think they already had torn down some building. I mean, obviously, knock that off, and then they're like, no, well, we got to rebuild it. I don't know why. This whole thing was really, really massive, and they're blocking off the bottom level because they don't want you to see how big how big and massive the bottom is, probably. But that was probably butted up against that right there. I mean, that whole thing. I mean, what do you think? It's just mind-boggling. The evidence is there, right? It's 2 completely different buildings. So, well, just tell me what you think. But, I mean, the evidence is right there. I showed you again. And yeah, I appreciate everyone. So if you can subscribe, that way I can make a bunch more of these. I mean, I'm going to anyways, but subscribe so you can see them. And then as a reward, every 1,000 subscribers, I'm just gonna randomly pick 10 and just give away some artwork, all kinds of stuff. I'll probably even make some new Tartaria artwork that, like stuff like this. So once again, appreciate it. See you soon. Peace.